Monday. Let me just switch on the chat here. My goodness, it feels like so long ago that we did our December Money Alchemy live. Hi everyone! Oh, there's loads of you here. Drop a hello in the comments. Let me know how you're getting on. It looks a bit bare behind me. My sparkly background has been taken down because thinking about moving everything around. I might even let Mark have a bit of space in here. Hi Sarah, so good to see you earlier today, lovely. I'm just going to put a drop of oil, orange oil, I nearly ate that, on my hands. Have a nice sniff. I love the orange oil. It's just so money, isn't it? It's so money. It's awesome. Hi Kirsty, thanks for joining, lovely. Oh, I just feel like, I don't know about you, but I've put a few posts about this on Facebook, but I really feel like I'm wintering. Midwinter always makes me stop, and I'm really wintering this year, and I've always known that winter was a really slow time for me. That doesn't mean I don't do anything, it's just everything's a bit more thought through and a bit more grounded and a bit less stressy. And I really feel like I'm wintering today. Not today, just like for the whole of winter. I have a birthday at the end of the month, so it makes sense that I'm building up into my explosion of spring, which I'm really excited about. Has anyone else experienced that? Like a feeling of like wintering? I was used to think I was suffering from like some sort of seasonal affected issue. But I think over the years, I've just realised it's just the flow of my energy, and I kind of like that I'm a bit like a tree. I just sort of retract and stop for a little while and then slowly start moving again. Does anyone else feel like that? Let me know in the comments. We'll just give everyone a couple of minutes to join. And then we've got loads of wins and questions to go through today, which is amazing. I love it when you share your wins and questions. I find it really motivating myself. And I know the rest of you find it really useful as well. If you've got a question, do make sure you fill in that form, and you can fill it in whenever you want. You can fill it in every day if you want to. Just let us know, because sometimes if you're like me, like you have these money wins and you think, yay, money win, and then completely forget about the money wins when someone asks you about your money wins or your questions. So that form is literally everywhere in the circle and the academy, so that you can just like pull it together and use it whenever you want to. Kirsty says, slow day for me. I just feel like my whole last few months has been like that, but like I'm making progress. The book is nearly written. Feeling very good about that. Oh, and you probably know, but I got engaged. There's my gorgeous ring. Mark asked me to marry him, which is very exciting and frankly unexpected. I think after 7.5 years, I just thought, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. So yeah. Anyway, let's make a start. First of all, just a reminder that our topic this month is forgiveness, and we've done forgiveness before in the circle, but it kept coming up all throughout December. And whilst I was away in Iceland, I was getting messages about that linked into not being able to let go of mistakes that we've made. Hi Melanie, hi. She said hi to everyone. Hopefully you can all see that. And this concept of being able to forgive ourselves for things that we might feel shame over, for things that we might feel guilt, for things that we just feel frankly stupid for. I mean, I look at my money past, and you know, there's no other word for some of the things I did. Terrible English. You might feel the same. I look at some of the things I did and think I was so stupid, like and so I think it's really important that we keep revisiting forgiveness. And I've got a lovely exercise for us to do together. It's going to not only help you forgive, but also help you chill after a wonderful Money Alchemy live. So we have had loads of new members join. We had 25 new members join over Christmas, which was amazing because it was just the most chilled out launch that I've done. That's what I call when I'm telling everyone constantly about what I'm doing. It was the most chilled out launch I've ever done for the circle. And you know what? my biggest thing is I really want to show you all how this can get to be easy. I got 25 new members into the circle whilst I was on holiday, and I was only working an hour a day. Like, it gets to be easy, lovelies, when we do this work. And I'm nowhere near where all the other people are ahead of me. Like, I feel like I'm still, in some of the circles I'm moving, I'm still the beginner. So hopefully that gives you inspiration or motivation that this when you do this work, things get to be easier. And it's weird. Like, it's weird. And that's one of the things I struggle to forgive myself for. Like, allowing myself to earn money without working hard. Okay, let's see who's here. Who have we got? Veronica, hey lovely. Yeah, finally found out how to access live chat. Woohoo! Yeah, I think you just have to log in, don't you? So hello and welcome. Jill, hi lovely. Jennifer, hello. Right, so as I said, we have done forgiveness before in the circle, but this was a different slant on it. We're focusing on this card, but I want to share with you the wins and the questions, first of all, because I think the questions are, the wins are amazing, but the questions are really high value as well. So, before I make a start, let me turn that off. I wanted to remind you, some of you might not have seen it, but there is a magical manifestation check experience. It's coming, all the information's coming out tomorrow to you, and it's every evening next week. Okay, don't worry if you can't make it. It's all going to be recorded. It's going to be put in the circle and the academy, so you can have a look at it. But it's a deep dive. We're going to do it on Google Meet, so we can ask questions and share experiences and things like that. And it's just for my academy and circle clients. Unless people want to pay a nice big fee to come in, they can do that. So don't forget about that. If you have got any questions, there will be another questionnaire on the email that comes out tomorrow. So if you've got questions and you can make it, and you've got questions and you can't make it, just fill in the form and I will answer them, and we'll record them so you get your questions answered anyway. So it's an in-depth look into the magic checks and how to get them working for you. Okay. Hi, Joanne. Nice to see you. Lovely. Melanie saying she had fun with this one. I'm guessing it's the I forgive my money pass. Yeah. Yay! Looking forward to it. Fabulous. Right, now I'm going to share the wins. Let's get ready to celebrate, lovelies. Okay, the wins. Managed to sell a kettle, and this is money and decluttering. So well done, lovely. Actually selling stuff. There's loads of you talking about selling on Vinted, which I love. Like, I've heard of Vinted because one of my best friends actually has a business selling on Vinted, but I've never even looked at it. So it seems to be a thing, and I'm loving this. And often starting small and building up, doing the one thing really helps. So that's amazing. That is money alchemy in action. You had a kettle, which was once money, and it alchemized into a kettle. And now you've turned it back into money and declutter. Declutter is a really big part of this work. Okay. And this was another win on the form. Simply says money is flowing from different places, and I love it. Woo! I love these. I love it. In the group, actually, there's been lots of posts this month. It seems to be a theme, doesn't it? That money's just coming in from all sorts of weird and wonderful places. And I sit there and I'm like, see, told ya. Because when you open up your belief to money coming in from all sorts of different, and not even belief, actually, it's just allowing money to come in from different directions, rather than being like, it has to come from my salary, or it has to come from this business, or it has to come from here. Like, oh my goodness, money can just, it literally just comes to you. And this is what happened when I manifested the money for this house. There was no way that we could have saved the amount of money that we had by the time we moved in here. It just started coming from all different sorts of directions. Unbelievable. Mark and I still can't fathom it. Okay, another win. I communicate more and more with money. This one gives me goosebumps. Like, how many of you actually talked to money in the past, and in a nice way? Like, it's just, it's like bringing a new friend into your life, isn't it? It's really exciting, a little bit awkward. You don't want to like scare her off, but I love it. I love it. Every healing exercise I do in the academy or the circle is a win. I love the description of a goal being about expansion, and I'm definitely going to sit with this explanation for a while and see what comes to me. Goals are amazingly powerful things. I think I'm going to do a training on money goals, because money goals are, I'm just going to write that down, otherwise I will forget. Goals are really important, but we can often really turn our mind off to them. And so if we think about it being something else, about expansion and us expanding, it actually takes a lot of the pressure off and makes it more about the journey than the end result. Amazing wins there. Okay. Oh, this lovely lady, I didn't want to share everything because there was some personal stuff on it, but she said that never have I ever been so delighted to find 10p on the ground. This 10p was a sign, like a feather from the angels for this lovely, after a run of some pretty icky stuff. And remember that these little signs are these signs that money's around you. She's playing games with you in a lovely, lovely way. And finding money is one way that she shows you that she's there. And if you haven't listened to this week's podcast with Claire and I, go and have a listen, because it's all about those signs and how we completely ignore them and shut ourselves off to them. But this lovely was completely open and got a sign right when she needed it. Okay. Veronica said no, she's never thought to talk to money before, right? Yeah. Okay, another win. I've completed the money archetype quiz and gained lots of clarity. Moving forward, I will refrain from rescuing. Yay, I'm guessing nurturer here. and create loving boundaries and value myself more by asking and creating what I want. Make sure you've done the archetypes quiz, because obviously that's how you work through in the academy. That's how we work through it. But if you're in the circle, make sure you do the academy quiz too. Sorry, I'm getting my A's mixed up now. The archetypes quiz too. It's a really detailed quiz. You'll need about 10 minutes for it. And we have got a question coming up on it. If you haven't got it, drop me a message and I will send it to you, because the academy members get the full suite. Everyone else gets the number one. Still very, very powerful. So, and it just helps you. It's like holding up a mirror and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I need to stop doing that, or I need to start doing that. Wonderful wins. This was lovely as well. Started with nothing new, and I was like, oh, okay. But actually it is a win, because sometimes consistency is a massive win. Just continuing to do tapping several times a week, getting up to date on the circle training, and reminding myself to do at least 2 money foundations every single day. Like, this consistency is so important, okay? Now, I'm not saying you have to do stuff every day, but that's where you should be working towards it. If you're doing money work once a week consistently, you're going to get results. Even if you're doing it once a month consistently, you're going to get results, but it's going to take a little bit longer than if you're doing it weekly. If you're doing it 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, up to 7 times a week, what you're going to do is speed up your results, okay? And the Money Magic Foundations are the cornerstone of the work. They really are, and they help you go from fear and doubt into, okay, I'm going to open up a little bit to that. So make sure you do those. Joe, yep, let me just pop that in the comments now for you, and then it's there for everyone. Let me see if I can spell it properly. I just have the longest, most gobbledygook name, so let me not try and speak. There we go. Oh, no, I've sent you the wrong one. Let me do that again, sorry. Let me just check I've spelt it right. Yes, there it is, Joe. Sorry about that. Both of those links are useful. What a happy accident. Okay, amazing. So, although there's nothing new, that consistency is a huge, huge win. Okay, another win, my check paying out and more. Now we're going to do a big deep dive on that next week. Huge deep dive on that, but getting your checks to pay out and then paying out more and more and more is a massive win. You just sit there, don't you? And you're like, how? And then you hear me in your voice going, unhook from the how. Absolutely love the money tap videos. Excellent. Had a complete block on doing EFT. That's the money tap. No matter how many times I've tried to do it or read about it, but the vids in the Money Academy, and also we have the same ones in the circle, really help me break down some of these blocks. So I feel much more confident using this technique on my own now. Yeah, I love EFT. What I teach is a way that's very light, but it makes it so much more fun. And you'll often see me on the videos laughing at myself because where does this stuff come from? Amazing win, love it. So getting back on the EFT and also checks paying out, yes. Okay, this was a big one, so I'll read this. I was guided to do the circle training about being abundantly wealthy. I neglected money for a bit in December. Do you know what, lovely? Well done for noticing that, because that's the work, is going, oh, what's happened here? Oh, I've not been paying attention. I hadn't realised it was because I had a block about abundantly wealthy, yeah? And I had aha moments listening to Eloise do the training. When I was doing the visualization, I found a contract I made in a past life with my mother. Wow. I felt unloved and abandoned for healing people in a way she didn't approve of and was made to do servant work. Okay, yeah, that's a biggie, isn't it? And I'm now able to release myself to receive more love and loving connections in the future. Our past lives, or past lives, or like some sort of echoes of history that we all have. There's a growing body of proof that epigenetics means that we pass experiences and emotions down. So whether or not you believe in past lives, like there is evidence to suggest that trauma, for example, can be passed down from one generation to the next. I do believe in past lives, and I've had similar past life experiences. So we often make contracts and commitments in previous lives, or someone before us has, and we've carried that through. Brilliant wins, so much awareness. I love this one as well. Forgiveness money tap down from 7 to a 3. So when we do the tapping in the academy, we often do it, and actually in the circle as well, we sometimes do a test. We say, what score is it? We don't always do it because we don't always need to. And they got down from a 7 to a 3, which is awesome. Sometimes it's not the right thing for you to get below a 3. Sometimes it's only the right thing to go down a couple of numbers or just one. And the reason for that is you've carried this stuff for so long. If you take it out, it's like this great big gaping hole. And so that's why the repetition and the consistency is so important. And that is a wonderful score drop. That's a wonderful score drop. I imagine it feels quite safe now, whatever it was you were tapping on. Love it. Love it. Release some old patterns of behaviour. Yeah. So we are operating on autopilot most of the time. We are operating from it's almost like our I don't know, iOS system or Android system. And we don't realise it's a little bit outdated. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just gets a bit glitchy. And so when we release the patterns of behaviour, it's like we get an upgrade in our operating system. It all feels shiny and new. So let's move on to the questions. There's lots of detailed questions here, and I love that. I love that. So the first one was, we are considering opening a joint bank account with my partner. My question is, how should we figure out what amount we should individually write on our magic checks to make sure that both our requested money will end up being received separately instead of manifesting it at the same time? I'm going to say, lovely, we're going to cover that on the experience because that's a big topic. Make sure you pop that question. I will copy that question over. Make sure you pop it on there just in case I forget. Because Claire's gone and left me. She's gone on holiday. So I'm running this business all on my own. It's a wonder it's still standing, to be honest. She's been gone 3 days. So, yeah. Ask that question again in the experience, and I will jot that down as well. So joint account with checks. Yeah, cool. And what does it mean? This was another question from the same person. What does it mean if I disagree with the archetype I got? I love this question. Really, really important. So sometimes there are a couple of reasons for this. The first is, did you answer the questions honestly with your heart rather than your head? Okay. And you've said here that you chose disagree or strongly disagree for the majority of sentences that are characteristics of this archetype. The assessment is very in-depth and very accurate, and it moves you around lots of different things. So it could be that you have low scores across the board. What I'd recommend, lovey, is send your scores into the help desk and we'll have a look at them and see if we can pick up anything that would help you with that. The other thing it could be is you are struggling to see those traits in yourself. But if you ask someone else, they might be able to identify those with you. I remember when I first did it, I was like, oh, I've got a ruler. Oh, I don't want a ruler. Sometimes we don't want to be the archetypes that we are. We don't want to have the archetypes that we have. But here's the thing. None of them are bad. None of them we cannot ever identify with. Sometimes we resist them, even though they're our strongest ones. So what I'm going to say is drop us an email. We'll have a quick look at the scores and see if we can identify anything on that. But it's likely to be, did you answer the questions with your heart or your head? Or is it that you are resisting? Okay. And if you think, no, I'm not resisting, I'm definitely not resisting, and yes, I answered the questions, and perhaps we'll do it together. We'll have a look at that. So let me know. Okay. Good question. I want to buy the magic checks, but have the checks in my journal. So this lovely lady has my lovely gigantic journal. I mean, you're never going to say I lost it or I couldn't find it or I forgot about it, because you're literally going to trip over it. And this journal does have checks in. There's a check in there every month, because I just thought that would be a nice touch to have it in there as a form of goal setting. Now, she says, I love the idea of having the physical checks, but also wonder if I should then ignore the checks in my journal. Do I write two? How it will work? I'm going to say again, pop that in the experience, because that's a really useful question that other people are going to have, because other people will have the checkbook and the journal. Okay. And I'm just going to write this down as well. So if we both do it, we won't forget. I do advise against writing two, but that's because of the type of manifester that I am. I need everything to be very clean, very clear, very simple. When I start complicating it, yes, it can work, but it gets a little bit confusing. But we'll cover that on the experience. Veronica said it's an awesome journal. It is lovely, isn't it? I've had a couple of people who've got it who said when they get it, they just want to hug it because it feels so nice. I love that. I love it. It makes me laugh. Okay. Another question. I would like more help with speaking kindly of money. I'm sort of in a neutral place with that. Or am I getting it confused with appreciate money? I would say don't overthink it. Speaking kindly, appreciating money, look for it, making space for money. It's all about being nice to money. The Money Magic Foundations are actually about seeing and inviting her in. So it doesn't matter if there's some overlap. Don't worry about that. Think about money. It's great that you're in a neutral place, because that's better than a negative place, right? So let's just celebrate that for a second. Think of money as your goddess, your amazing goddess that you get to go and talk to anytime, and you can do it consciously or whilst you're visualizing. You can ask her advice at any time, and she is there. She's your best friend in waiting. Okay, it feels, when you meet someone new and you think, I like you, I want you to be my friend, right? It's weird, isn't it? Because you, as I mentioned this before, you don't want to seem aloof, but you also don't want to seem intense. And so it's all a bit awkward when you're building a new friendship. That's what you're doing with money, okay? You're just in that awkward, oh, what is she kind of phase. Is she a friend? Is she just someone I know? Is she someone I'm never going to see again? Do you know what I mean? Think of her you're building this new friendship with her, and what I want you to do is just, talk to her. Say, it would be absolutely wonderful if you came and stayed with me for a few days. We could chill out, have a candlelit bubble bath, and of course, you're going to do it on your own, but you could listen to her, ask her, say, what do you think? When you're looking after yourself, what is she saying to you? Tune in, ask her to talk to you. She is like any other energy, spirit or being. If you invite her, she will come. Okay. And so when you're talking about money or thinking about money, just think about your goddess and what she comes through as. Yeah. We are personifying her, and that makes her easier to build a relationship with. So hopefully that helps. Lovely. Okay, next question. As far as I'm aware, my only fear around money is not having any. This is a very powerful fear. Okay, it's true. As much as I say I want dog training clients, I'm afraid of visibility, even though I do post daily. Well done, lovely, amazing. Being outed as the fraud I am. Oh my goodness. Can we just, does anyone feel like they genuinely know what they're doing all the time? I've spent my entire career, and I still have moments of it now, where I think, oh, what if someone realizes I don't know anything? The fact of the matter is, we do know a lot, don't we? We call this imposter syndrome. And I have never met a woman in business who doesn't have that at some point. Yeah? Imposter syndrome is real, and it creates fear, and fear creates need, and need creates that almost counter manifestation. It's like a repellent energy. Okay. I used to joke with my school friend when I kept getting promoted at work. I was like, what if they realise I'm an idiot? What if they realise I don't know anything about quality assurance, even though I knew I was the best in my field? I kept this feeling kept coming up for me. What if they find out? What if I find out that everything I thought I knew was just BS? So, like, first of all, lovely, just know that that's normal. That's imposter syndrome. That is the ego trying its hardest to pull you back into your comfort zone. Okay. I saw a quote. I can't remember who said it, but I saw a quote, and it said, your mind will choose a comfortable hell over your mind will choose a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. Okay. That's what your mind is designed to do on this earth plane. Just keep you alive, keep you safe. Okay. But it is safe to step outside of that comfort zone. Okay. So they'll figure out I don't actually know what I'm talking about. I will continue to put in the work, although it's enjoyable, so it doesn't feel like work. Yeah, this is the other thing, right? We are also taught that we're not allowed to enjoy our work, that we have to work hard for it, and that if we want more money, we have to work even harder. And that is just not true. I have people in my network who don't do a huge amount of work, but they make a huge amount of money. I also have people in my network who work 100-hour weeks and struggle to make money, to make ends meet. Okay. So, like, you can choose a different way. And I know it sounds insane. One of my clients, I had a one-to-one VIP day last week, and one of my clients came out with the best word when we were talking about our vision of the future, her vision of the future. And it was just the best word because it really summed up all of the negative beliefs and blocks that we get. She said, that's preposterous. Isn't that an amazing word? That's just preposterous. Within half an hour, that's preposterous had changed into that's possible. By the end of the day, it wasn't just possible, it was likely to happen. You know, this is what happens when we spend time outside of our comfort zone, is it grows. So it feels scary, but it grows. And then it's like, oh, actually, I do know what I'm talking about. Other people know I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So the point that I wanted to point out was, you said my only fear around money is not having any. And what that kind of fear is something that's pushing money away. Okay, because anytime you have it, you're going to prove that belief that you don't have enough, that you don't have any. So I would say, and I say this to all of my clients and all of my friends, watch your language. So instead of saying, I don't have any, say, I'm creating more money every day. And it will become true. It will become true. One of the things that really worked for me was journaling. I journaled that I was earning 10k a month. Preposterous. I wish I'd had that word then, because that was preposterous. I would literally laugh at myself writing 10k a month consistently. Oh, yeah, right then. Right, well, now I'm writing bigger goals because that happened. It went from being preposterous to being possible, to being inevitable, to being last year's news, and it is that watching your language. Even if you don't believe the language you're saying, sometimes it's enough just to tip you over. You build that familiarity with those words. I'm creating more money every day. I'm creating more money every day. I'm creating more money every day. Yeah. It's not always instant, but when you look back, you'll be like, oh, I was writing that. I wrote that for like 100 days and it actually worked. Okay. Melanie's saying, I'm now throwing my thoughts out there on social media and just seeing where they land. Exactly, right? Just get it out there. And your social media, Melanie, as a result, just feels so you. It's joyful. It's joyful. Okay. Now, next question is, I'm thinking how quickly I can slip out of the flow with money and start fearing her or mistrusting her again. Firstly, well done. Well done for noticing that. I call this getting on and off the money bus. We just sort of slip off it, don't we? So just all of a sudden we're not on it anymore. We don't even notice it happening until you start feeling that fear. You go, oh, I haven't got enough. I haven't got enough. Yeah? You start mistrusting her again. Okay, so that's huge, the fact that you notice that. I'm generally feeling stronger and more confident than I have been. Amazing. But also still somewhat clunky around the ease here. As I said, this is building a relationship. It's weird. It's weird. Every new relationship, every new friendship is always a little bit weird, isn't it, when we start out? So kind of like feeling each other out, trying to work out how to navigate it. Brilliant. So clunky is fine. It's like learning to drive. You've never done this before. You've never thought of money as something beautiful and friendly and something that you could just invite into your life. So yeah, it's gonna feel like that. Like when you get into a car and you learn to drive, it just feels like it will never be easy, doesn't it? Think of it like that. And now most of us will get in a car and scarily not even notice how many roundabouts we took. Okay. Also, I notice I'm easily triggered by other people around me with their thoughts, words, or ideas about money. Another huge thing to celebrate, because in the past you wouldn't have noticed that. You may even have joined in with that and brought down the whole vibration when you talk about money. Other people's money beliefs and stories are yucky. They are yucky. And that doesn't mean you can't spend time with them, but it's like gossip, isn't it? You have people who like to gossip and they like to dig the dirt and share the dirt on people. That's how I think about slagging off money. It's like the gossip fountain. And so I do one of two things. I either just sit quietly and think about something else, or I actually say, I'm just going to go away and get something. I'll come back. And yeah. Or the other thing I do is go, oh, do you know what? I think money's amazing. Normally they leave me at that point. This is a hard part of the work, though. Other people's responses to how you're talking about money now. Some people don't want to get on that bus with you. I used to try and get everyone on the bus. I was like, come on, get on the bus. Come and join me. Like, money's great. Money's easy. You'll love it. Some people don't want to do that. And that's okay. Okay. So amazing awareness here, lovely. Amazing awareness. Don't worry about it feeling clunky. It's gonna feel clunky. Yeah? You're feeling your way into this new relationship and you want this relationship to last a lifetime. It takes time. You'll make mistakes. You'll do things completely wrong. You'll be so ashamed of yourself sometimes as well. But the great thing is you're going to find out money has already forgiven you. Okay. And okay, how do you find the line between trusting the process and taking the action? Okay, good question. Good question. So I always say unhook from the how, and that means trust in the process. But what that means is you're looking out for the process to show you what to do. So you can't just write a magic check and lay on your sofa for a month. Like, that's not going to work. The magic is in the doing, but you don't need to know how to do it. So what I do is I have a rule. If I see things more than once, that's a sign that I need to do it. It used to be 3 times, but now I'm so, like, it's so reliable for me. I just, if someone says it to you and you've been thinking about it, that's evidence of the action. If you've seen something that feels like a sign and then someone else mentions it, or you see another sign, just do it. Just do it. Trust your intuition. Okay. Intuition is the process, not the how. And sometimes the process doesn't reveal itself until halfway through or towards the end. And then it all just sort of chinks into place. Yeah. It's a bit like, there are people that take step-by-step action through a project. And there are people who set out with great intentions and they do the work in the last hour. Did you know, there's no difference in the quality of those people's work? It's just that one really annoys the other. So sometimes you get step-by-step guidance, and other times you just get, we're just going to go for it. Okay. What I find is when it comes to trust in the process, I often do like to give the universe a deadline. That's why I love the checks so much. That often it gives me a timeline to look for that information, that guidance, that opportunity. So I hope that helps. Okay, Melanie says, I've been doing exactly this, Eloise. Cool. And just realised this is one of mine. Ah, cool. Hopefully that's helped, lovely. Oh, this one I love. What example can you offer to counteract my impatience? Impatience is a need, okay? Impatience is born out of a need. A need is not going to generate a lot of lovely feeling about money. So what I do is I do what's called expanding my context. When I'm impatient, I take deadlines off the table and I just trust and know that it's going to happen, because that is the way it works. What you speak, you create. What you write, you cast into being. What you intend will happen. What you focus on will flow. When you're impatient, you're like, I have to have it and I have to have it now. That's need. So step away from it. Put it down. Okay? I know that's hard, but just expand your context. Just think, I know it's going to happen. I've said it, so it will be. Okay? So be it, whatever. I've said it, so it will be. Okay? Step away. Step away from the need. So let's get going. So many wonderful questions. I hope you found that useful, lovelies. Loads of little tidbits of things in there. I love doing the questions. It tests me. It puts me on the spot. It's great. Okay, so the theme for this month is I forgive my past money mistakes. And as I said, the reason this came up again for the circle is it kept coming up for me and my clients. And that's my sign. That's the process. Yes, we've got a forgiveness one already here, but this is a different one. So forgiveness is, when it comes to money, is about holding on to your past money mistakes. And it is heavy in so many ways. It holds you back in terms of your confidence. It keeps you awake so that you're too tired to think. It is like carrying a huge, heavy backpack around with you. And you might not even be aware that you have this backpack on. Okay? Your money past backpack, like I said, you might not notice you're carrying it. Or you might just feel this heaviness. Okay, you might just think, why can't I do this? Okay, that's your money backpack. Okay, you may also carry it to remind you of past mistakes. So if you're like me, most of you are, because I attract people that are like me, we have a tendency to self-sabotage and self-flagellate. I think is that the right word? Have I got that word wrong? Have I said something rude there? I'm thinking of the film where the guy is whipping himself with the cat o' nine tails. We like to live in pain because it's familiar, because it keeps us safe. It's not that we actually like it. It's that it feels safe. It's that familiar hell. Like, if we stop beating ourselves over the head with our money past and our mistakes, that's scary. That's an unfamiliar heaven, right? We don't want to go to an unfamiliar heaven. We like our familiar hell, okay? Someone please tell me that's not a rude word that I said. Okay, I hate the delay sometimes. It's excruciating. I did it before. I did a live I think it was in Sarah's group. And I said something very rude. My guides told me to say it, and it was quite rude. I can be quite naive. Okay, so... Oh, good. Thanks, Veronica. I thought they were playing up again. Okay, so, so you might be carrying this backpack because it's so well attached to you that you've got it tied nice and tight and you can't actually let go of it anymore. Like, it's just, you're used to it. You're used to carrying that stuff around. It was funny, wasn't it, Sarah? It just, yeah. Oh, dear. Those guides are sneaky little buggers, aren't they? So your backpack, I'm going back to that though. Your backpack might just be on your back and you just can't get it off. You don't want to get it off. You kind of feel the need to punish yourself for your past mistakes, okay? And what I mean is like the shame, the guilt, the embarrassment, that type of thing. Because do you know what it feels like? If we let it go, we might forget the lesson. We might do it again. Okay, so this heavy backpack, if you can imagine, slows you down. When I was in the Navy, I did leadership training in the Black Mountains in Wales. And so your neck of the woods, Veronica, in the general geography of the United Kingdom, not specifically. And like, oh my goodness, it was so hard. We had a really heavy burden on. We were tired. And we had to walk up these mountains and down these mountains and up these mountains. And it was really heavy. We couldn't take them off because if we took them off, we might not get them back on again because our bodies were all tight and bruised and things like that. But it really slowed us down. You know, we could have got up those mountains. We could have jogged a little bit. We were all super fit. So we could have jogged up the mountains, but we just had to yomp, as we call it in the military. Yomp is like a head down, one foot after the other. It holds up your progress and it makes everything feel like effort. Even breathing feels hard when you're carrying your money past around. Obviously, I'm talking metaphorically and when it comes to money. But you will find, all of you are very sensitive to this type of thing, but you will find that you get blockages in your throat and your solar plexus when you think about your money past. Yeah? Even in your heart. Okay? So forgiving yourself can feel really hard. Often there's a fear that you'll forget the lesson. And that's why you keep reminding yourself, whacking yourself, carrying that bag. I can't take it off because if I don't have that, how will I stop myself from doing it again? Or maybe you feel like you don't deserve a second or a third, or even, especially in my case, a 100th chance. Like, how many times do we need to go through this cycle of making mistakes with money? Maybe you feel like you simply can't be trusted with money. My biggest reaction to money came the day I found out how much the mortgage company was going to lend us for this house. It was way more than we needed. It was way more than we wanted. Mark was like, oh, we could get a bigger mortgage. And I was like, no, smallest mortgage possible because I can't be trusted. I can't be trusted. I've proved that. I've had a house repossessed. And honestly, 90% of that was my fault, So maybe you feel like you can't be trusted. Like, you can't be trusted to be set free of your backpack and run free up the mountains. Do you know what I mean? You can't be trusted. Or perhaps you just feel plain stupid, that's me, for making these mistakes. Like, how? Why? What? Oh! So frustrating and saddening and maddening. But here's the thing, right? Money's already forgiven you. Money forgave you as soon as it was done. It is time to forgive yourself. She does not hold grudges, lovelies. She does not. And this is how we know this. You know, your money goddess only wants to be with you. That's all she wants. She just wants to be with you. She wants to bring abundance into your life. I know you feel that in the visualizations. That warm, calm feeling that you sense in those visualizations is love. Okay? I've said this before, like, I truly believe that the way we work with money comes in on the vibration of love. Okay, if you work with angels, yes, they're different, but the energy of it's very similar. Love, unconditional love. There's no judgment. There's not always easy conversations. They're quite frank, just like money is. Love, unconditional love. Okay, she does not require you to be sorry or to atone or to earn forgiveness or do a certain amount of time to get this forgiveness. She's already forgiven you. It's already given as soon as the act was done. Okay, that's the easy bit. Okay, money has forgiven you. So you need to forgive yourself. We're going to do an exercise. There is a workbook to go with this. It's in the circle under this video. It's also in the academy under this video in the live calls tab. So the first thing I want you to do is to let's just close our eyes. Close your eyes, put your feet on the floor, and just take a nice deep breath. Center yourself. Just center yourself. You know money's already forgiven you for all this stuff. She never holds a grudge. She wants to welcome abundance back into your life with you. Every single mistake that you've made, every single mistake that you will make in the future, and you will make them. Okay, I still make them. And I know this stuff. It's already forgiven. Okay? Center yourself. And I want you to just bring to your mind a money mistake that you're struggling to let go of. Okay? And imagine or see in your mind's eye taking that big, heavy backpack off. If it's so heavy you need help, money's there for you. She's your friend. She's going to help you out of that backpack. Or imagine I'm there, yanking it off you. We're getting you out of that backpack. And I want you to imagine putting it on the floor by your feet. It's not going anywhere. It's just staying there by your feet, okay? So you don't have to freak out about, what if I forget the lesson? Just pop it on the floor by your foot in your mind. Just imagine. And we're going to breathe into the Ho'oponopono prayer, which I will recite for you now. Do not overthink this. Do not judge the words that you're saying. If you can say them out loud, amazing. If you can't say them out loud, just say them in your heart. Okay? Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, say or think the words, please forgive me. Let the breath go. Breathe in again, deep breath. On the out breath, as you release it, say, I'm sorry, and release the breath. Deep breath in. And on the out breath, I love you. Breathe out. Breathe in. On the out breath, thank you. And breathe out. Just sit for a moment. Ho'oponopono, that's part of the Ho'oponopono practice, just a very small part, super powerful. Now I want you to imagine Well, remember that backpack that's down by your foot. Still there where you shrugged it off. It hasn't gone anywhere. And I want you to see yourself taking the money mistake out of the bag, or letting it jump out or flow out or disintegrate, whatever you want to do. Take that money mistake out of the bag. And for a moment, I want you to ponder the question, do I want to pick it up again? If the answer is yes, pick it up. You know it's lighter now. A lighter backpack is going to be easier. And you can come back and repeat this activity until it's empty. If you don't want to pick it up, leave it there on the floor. You're not going to forget these mistakes because it's there on the floor next to you. However, this backpack is magical and a bit sneaky. You may find that it magically appears on your back again sometimes. And what you need to do is to repeat this activity of taking off the backpack, focusing on the mistake that you made, working through that beautiful prayer, and then deciding whether to pick it up or to leave it on the floor. It's not going anywhere. And you can repeat this as often as you want. I recommend weekly. You can do it before you go to bed, before you get up, in the middle of the day, whenever you want to. And just take a nice deep breath in. Feel the difference in your backpack if you picked it up. If you didn't pick it up, just notice it on the floor, no longer on you. And then just wriggle your toes, have a little stretch and a little shake. I'm having to shift around. Let me know how that was for you. Forgiveness of ourselves is often the hardest thing. And even when you know you've been forgiven by someone else, it's still not easy, is it? And so I love this activity. It came to me about 3 days ago. It came to me, it was kind of in a half dream, and I just thought that's lovely. A beautiful combination of the Ho'oponopono and some really cool technique for forgiving. So let's have a look. Fabulous. Felt calming. Lovely. So you can do this. The worksheet talks you through this process. What I would say is do not cheat yourself on this section. The Ho'oponopono prayer. Do not cheat yourself. Take the time to say this prayer on the breath. I was never taught to do it on the breath, but I just feel like that adding the breath in just is even more beautiful. It's even deeper. It's even more healing. We often forget to breathe, especially when we're carrying big ass backpacks around, right? Okay, Jill said, love that short exercise. It wasn't easy, but it felt like a relief when I took it off. Yeah. And Jill, you can leave it off or you can put it back on, because it is about weaning ourselves out of that familiar hell and making that heaven a little bit more familiar. So we want to spend a bit more time there. So I love that, and it looks like you did too. I've got a list. I've probably got 30 pages, A4 pages of money stuff, money past, money mistakes that I've made. Some of them are small, some of them are not small. And since I had the realization about money being love and being forgiving as soon as it's done, even before it's done, that changed a lot for me. And then I realised, oh, okay, it's me. It's me. I need to do the work. Money's done the work. She's like, yeah, come on, just get back on. I can't be trusted. I can't be trusted. So that's how I am currently working on releasing my money past, forgiving my money past. Let's just turn the slides off so you can see this. This is the card that I love. I love these cards. They're really beautiful for planning for Money Alchemy Circle. I get so many ideas from them. And this is, for me, what it feels like, forgiveness. And I never knew what this image really meant for this card until last year. And it is about that solidness just dissipating and floating away. Because that's what it feels like when we forgive, isn't it? That rock that we've had, wherever we've held it, on our back, in our throat, in our solar plexus, in our heart, wherever we've held it, when we forgive, it just smashes it into dust and we just breathe it out. And I now know what that image meant, which is awesome. So hopefully you're all super chilled now. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments. I'm going to shuffle the cards and see if we've got a card going forward for this week. You can stick with the money forgiveness one if you want, or pull your own. That's absolutely fine. Oh, that one wanted to jump out. Oh, I magnetize money towards me. That is the card for our week going forward. So we forgive money, and then we forgive our money past, and then we magnetize money towards us. So we're getting swirled around. Love it. Love it. Okay. Yes, Veronica agrees. Restriction being released, and that probably took 5 minutes, if that. And ideally, you do it in a nice, relaxed environment. But you can do it's like tapping. You can do it anyway. You can just think, right, I've noticed this. I'm just going to do this. 5 minutes, and it will make a difference to you. It will make a difference to you. Even if you want to put that backpack back on, it's going to be lighter. And that's progress, right? Yeah, you loved that, didn't you, Veronica? Fabulous, fabulous. Right, my lovelies. I'm not seeing any questions coming through. I'll just wait another couple of moments and just see if there's anything else. Hope you found this useful. I'm really excited, actually, because in March, which is just 2 months away, the Money Alchemy Circle is a whole year old. I can't believe that. That's insane. I love it. And it's just brilliant. I love bringing us together on our third Mondays, and seeing the difference on the wins and the questions. It fills me up, and thank you all for being here with me on this journey. And I love being part of your journey, so thank you all. I'm just waiting to find out. I haven't had it yet, but what we're going to do for the first birthday. Maybe we'll have like a little party on our Money Alchemy Live or something. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Okay. Yes, very useful. Veronica said forgiveness is a big element. Melanie says, I love the prayer. I say it all times for many different things. You are very welcome, Sarah. All of you are very welcome. I hope you found it useful. And, like I said, I think adding the breath into the Ho'oponopono, it makes it like sparkle. So enjoy that. Right, my lovelies, have a wonderful rest of your evening. Go and enjoy that lighter feeling that you've got. Try to relax. As always, when we talk about money, it's energetically a lot because we're moving into this new space. So take care, and I will see you in the group. I will see you here next month as well. See you later, lovelies.